Having the moon in the fifth house of a natal chart is like having a glowing, silver tide pool in the center of your creative and romantic life. In astrology, the moon represents our emotional core, our subconscious needs, and how we mother ourselves and others. When it resides in the fifth house, the domain of Leo, pleasure, children, and self-expression, the result is a personality that experiences joy and creativity as a vital emotional necessity rather than a mere hobby. The heart of a performer. For an individual with this placement, emotions are not meant to be hidden, they are meant to be performed, dramatized, and shared. There is a profound need for an audience, though that audience might simply be a partner or a close circle of friends. You likely wear your heart on your sleeve, and your moods can shift with the theatricality of a stage play. When you are happy, the room glows, when you are hurt, the world feels like a tragedy. This isn't necessarily attention-seeking in a negative sense, it is simply that your internal world is so vivid that it naturally overflows into your external environment. Creativity as emotional regulation. The fifth house governs procreation in all its forms, from biological children to the brainchildren of art and music. With the moon here, creative expression is your primary method of self-soothing. If you are feeling overwhelmed, you might turn to painting, writing, or dancing to process those feelings. Your art is rarely intellectual, it is visceral. You don't paint a concept, you paint a feeling. Because the moon is cyclical, your creative output likely fluctuates with your moods. You may go through phases of intense, prolific inspiration followed by periods of emotional withdrawal and creative hibernation. Romance and the inner child. In the realm of romance, the moon in the fifth house seeks a partner who can play. You aren't just looking for a stable cohabitant, you are looking for a playmate. You likely approach dating with a sense of wonder and a desire for theatrical romance, candlelit dinners, grand gestures, and deep emotional intensity. However, because the moon represents our vulnerability, you may be prone to emotional gambling. You might fall in love with the feeling of being in love, risking your heart quickly because the high of the honeymoon phase feels like emotional nourishment. There is a powerful connection to the inner child with this placement. You likely retain a youthful spirit well into adulthood, possessing a rare ability to tap into the wonder and spontaneity that most people lose as they age. This makes you exceptionally gifted at connecting with children. You don't just care for them, you understand their emotional language. If you choose to have children, you are likely a very nurturing, protective, and deeply involved parent, though you must be careful not to over-identify your own emotional well-being with your child's successes or failures. The shadow side, the need for validation. The challenge of the moon in the fifth house lies in the search for external validation. Because your sense of safety is tied to your self-expression and how it is received, a critique of your art or a rejection from a romantic interest can feel like a fundamental threat to your soul. There can be a tendency toward emotional narcissism, where you become so wrapped up in the drama of your own feelings that you struggle to see the emotional reality of those around you. Ultimately, the journey of a fifth house moon is to learn that your light comes from within. While the applause of an audience or the adoration of a lover is sweet, your true security lies in your ability to witness and love your own creative spirit. When you learn to play for the sake of the joy it brings you, rather than the reaction it garners from others, you become a beacon of genuine, radiant warmth. When the moon resides in the fifth house, its expression is filtered through the lens of the zodiac sign it occupies. This sign determines the flavor of your creativity and the specific way you seek joy. Aries, your creative urges are impulsive and fiery. You seek emotional satisfaction through firsts and may start many creative projects with intense passion, though you might struggle to finish them once the initial thrill wanes. Taurus, you find safety in tangible beauty. Your creative hobbies likely involve the senses, cooking, gardening, or pottery. In romance, you are deeply sensual, loyal, and crave physical consistency. Gemini, emotionally, you are fueled by variety. Creativity for you is intellectual and verbal. You might find joy in wordplay, puzzles, or social butterfly antics. You need a partner who can keep up with your wit. Cancer, this is a powerful placement as the moon is at home. Your fifth house energy is deeply nurturing and protective. You may treat your creative projects or your children as sacred extensions of yourself. Leo, this is a double bright placement. You have a natural flair for the dramatic and a profound need to be seen and appreciated. Your heart is generous, but your ego is highly sensitive to being ignored. Virgo, you express love and creativity through craft. You find emotional peace in perfecting a skill or being of service to those you love. Your hobbies are often meticulous and detail-oriented. Libra, your joy is found in harmony and aesthetics. You are likely in love with love and seek a partner who is refined and artistic. Creativity often manifests as a desire to create balance and beauty in your surroundings. Scorpio, your creative and romantic life is characterized by all-or-nothing intensity. You seek deep, transformative experiences and may use art as a way to explore the darker or more hidden parts of the human psyche. Sagittarius, you find emotional security through freedom and exploration. For you, play involves adventure, philosophy, or travel. You need a romantic life that feels like an expanding horizon rather than a cage. Capricorn, you take your fun seriously. You may turn your hobbies into a career or find joy in achieving milestones. You are emotionally cautious in romance, preferring a partner who offers long-term status and reliability. Aquarius, your creative expression is unique, unconventional, and perhaps a bit detached. You find joy in the weird and the communal. You seek a partner who is also your best friend and respects your need for space. Pisces, your fifth house is a dreamscape. You are highly imaginative and may possess a psychic-like sensitivity to art and romance. You risk getting lost in fantasies, but your capacity for poetic, selfless love is boundless. The transit of the moon through your fifth house is a brief but potent emotional holiday that occurs for roughly 2.5 days every month. While a natal placement describes a permanent personality trait, a transit describes a temporary shift in focus, a window of time where the universe grants you permission to stop grinding and start playing. The emotional pulse of joy. When the moon enters this sector of your chart, your emotional barometer shifts from safety and security, the fourth house, to expression and pleasure. During these few days, you may notice a sudden restlessness with your routine. Tasks that felt manageable yesterday might feel stifling today. This is because the fifth house transit demands an outlet for your internal light. You are more likely to feel a spark of inspiration, a desire to dress up for no reason, or an urge to engage in a hobby that has been gathering dust. Romantic vulnerability and spontaneity. In the realm of relationships, this transit often acts as a catalyst for flirtation and romantic courage. If you are single, you might find yourself more open to social invitations or more willing to take a risk on a new connection. If you are in a relationship, this is the ideal time for a date night or a spontaneous gesture of affection. However, because it is the moon, this transit also makes you more emotionally sensitive to how your partner responds to your advances. A perceived rejection during this window can feel more personal than usual, as your heart is temporarily more exposed. Connection to children and the inner child. This transit is one of the best times for connecting with children. You are more likely to operate on their frequency, one of curiosity, immediate presence, and play. If you don't have children, this manifests as a bridge to your own inner child. You may find yourself gravitating toward nostalgia, watching a movie you loved at 10 years old, eating a favorite childhood snack, or simply allowing yourself to laugh without the adult filter of "is this productive?" Speculation and risk. The fifth house also governs speculation and games of chance. During a moon transit here, you may feel luckier or more inclined to take risks. While this can lead to creative breakthroughs, it is important to remember that the moon is the planet of fluctuating moods. Emotional decisions made during this transit, whether financial or romantic, can sometimes be based more on a passing feeling than on long-term logic. The creative release. Ultimately, the moon transiting the fifth house is a reminder to nurture your soul through self-expression. It is a period for exhaling the emotions you've been holding on to. Whether you spend these few days painting, dancing, playing with your kids, or simply enjoying a beautiful meal, the goal is the same: to reconnect with the part of you that knows how to be happy for no reason at all. Use this monthly window to refill your emotional cup with the things you love, so you have the strength to handle the more serious work of the houses to come. Subscribe, like, and share.